Hey there, Tundra Nation! Welcome back to the channel. Today on Tundra Tactical, it seems that my regular writer has been wrapped up in the rigors of military life in final preparation for his next deployment. But he's decided that neglecting his duties as a logistics officer for a light infantry battalion in order to put some of his pent-up frustrations onto paper was well worth the risk of potentially leaving 860 grunty boys unfed for a meal or two. I mean, come on, when it comes to being a successful LT in the Army, you don't need to be good at your job, you just need to be less bad than the other LTs in your immediate vicinity. Now, before we dive into the next iteration of the series, if you'd like to submit your filthy excuse for a rifle to be roasted by a couple of no-talent ass clowns that think they got something going on, then all you have to do is follow the link in the description below to our Discord server. We've also noticed a bit of a strange trend. It seems that most of you watching are freeloading SOBs who think that consuming free content on the internet should come without giving anything back. Well, this ain't the chop here, bud, and I suggest you hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell post-haste before we get a few of our own SoundCloud rappers to take over and start handing out free AR-15s. This piece of trash is presented in the most classy and tactical version of a Mariflage currently available on the civilian market. Congrats on making your rifle not only gratuitously boogaloo friendly, but also disgusting by incorporating a battle-worn aesthetic. Do you know what the proper protocol is for dealing with a worn-out copy of Old Glory? You ceremoniously burn it. As this is some sort of bastardized ode to the Stars and Stripes, we recommend that you make some alterations to the ceremony by throwing the rifle into a 55-gallon drum riddled with bullet holes and rust, and burn it with the sticky porno mags you have hidden under your bed. Take that fake cog and turn it sideways, then proceed to shove it up your butt. All those lightning cuts in your receiver are just gonna give you more problems than an ex-wife with a bad attitude and half your stuff. God save you if there is just an ounce of dust within the max effective range of this gas-operated dumpster fire. Here we have an example brought to us by the Walmart Warrior. This is a man who has clearly given up. You remember all those kids at the high school dances that just sat in the corner with the awkward boner and didn't talk to anybody? Of course you do. Because it was you. Come on, let's be honest. Totally wasn't me. Your plastic stock is far too synthetic to let you punch your ticket into the Futter Dome, and the capacity of a break action is but one single round, which means that you're never going to have a beard capable of operating in a target-rich environment. The fact that your rings are higher than Snoop Dogg at a Willie Nelson afterparty tells me that you either have some strange genetic defect that resulted in extra vertebrae in your neck region, or you are in fact an actual giraffe. While I consider myself firmly placed in the pro animals are good camp, I cannot and will not ever accept giraffes as respectable creatures. In fact, I'm pretty sure that giraffes aren't real and they're actually some sort of government-controlled device that was created to lull us into a false sense of security before they ban pistol braces. Don't question the logic, I have my reasons, and I'm not sure how much help that lead sled's gonna be when it looks like your rifling was probably milled with a rusty Leatherman tool. This rifle is made of wood. Wood is the material that I see when I see this rifle. I'm left to believe that the owner of this rifle is either made of wood himself or is not metal enough. Do you remember Metal Man from the Mega Man series? That was always the best guy to take out early because the rest of the game is essentially on easy mode. If you take out Woodman early and you think you're going to clean house while throwing leaves at a boss who is made from a material that is essentially an apex predator when compared to a tree is going to result in a bad time. This rifle almost makes me wish for a nuclear winter. Please stand by where I pour all of the bleach that I have right into my eyes. Degenerates like you belong on a cross. Wow, I'm actually kind of close to respecting your swag. It would seem that all those BCM parts do make my Garand thumb slightly engorged. But when I learned about that Anderson lower, it gave me unfortunately that post-masturbatory feeling of shame and disgust in myself that we all have felt in the post-release moment of clarity. I'm also very suspicious that you're probably hiding the forend of this rifle for a very specific purpose. I'm going to ask you this exactly one time. How many drugs were you smoking when you attached the upper to that pop metal version of a lower? Props on the rattle can job that doesn't look like you're trying to join the nearest National Guard scout platoon, but trying to church up an Anderson receiver is essentially the purest form of putting lipstick on a pig that I have ever witnessed. This is a perfect example of how ridiculous you can actually get with the Ruger 1022. Many people have said that no gun collection is complete without that trusty little pill spitter included, but I'm pretty sure that most of those people actually work for Ruger and have a pretty intense conscious bias that they use to form that opinion. I'm going to need you to think about exactly how much money you really put into this thing, and then consider consulting a financial planner before you max out your 7th credit card. Unsecured debt is one of the primary methods of control the wealthy elites use to keep the paupers in their place. And it's also the reason that most of us will die on our feet working for the man with no true hope of retirement. Social Security is dead and will never be brought back to its original purpose in today's socio-political environment. This is not a joke, but guess what? Your rifle is. I recommend that you drop it on a gun broker, list it for $300, and check with your nearest MBA holder for the definition of sunk costs. Dude, seriously, no matter how tricked out you try to make this thing, it's still just a 22. There was originally an entire rifle posted for us to roast, but all we really needed to see here was the dust cover. We get it. You wear Hawaiian shirts and hoard toilet paper. You're the kind of guy who's gonna open carry at a Chuck E. Cheese with your hand glued to the grip of your 1911. Every time a young child who's completely engorged on shit-tier pizza and Jolt Cola gets too close to you, you try to flex your pectorals and give them the death glare. No punk kid is gonna get between you and the whack-a-mole machine because everyone knows that's your game and you're determined to earn enough tickets to cash them in for that sweet Nerf gun hanging on the top shelf. You're convinced that if you hit those moles hard enough, you're gonna impress all those single moms who are currently crying into their son's birthday cakes, while the decaying animatronics perform the latest Katy Perry single, and that 16-year-old pimple-faced kid in the mouse costume that hosts the aroma of stale vomit and sweat considers his choice for community college. Here's a warning. Do not shoot the animals on the stage. It's not gonna end well for you. Please don't ask me how I know that. Oh boy. Well, that about wraps it up for today, folks. If you dislike this video, then you have yet to receive a breakfast of cold eggs and soggy bacon that is ready for you at the crack of noon from an army cook who is currently ashing a cigarette into the applesauce. But if you like the video, make sure to smash that thumbs up button and share it around with your friends. Consider subscribing to the channel and checking out our Patreon page to stay up to date on current and future content. And if you feel like repping some Tundra swag, head on into the link in the description below to our store on Teespring. Thanks for watching, Tundra Nation, and you can now find us on Instagram at Tundra Tactical MN.